All right, guys, so we are going to go ahead and do probably not all of these problems just because you guys have done a lot of math. One thing I want to do is we're just going to kind of talk about number 4. So as we're talking, you can kind of write some notes on here. And I think we are going to do 5 and 6 because we're just going to briefly talk about number 4 because I have talked about this one before. So Ripley told his mom that multiplying whole numbers by multiple tens of was easy because you just can count the zeros and the factors and put them in the product. He used these two as an example. So he said 7,000 times 600 is 4,200,000. Well, this is because 7 times 6 is 42. And then here we have 3 zeros, 2 zeros, so he had to add 5 zeros. Okay. He also showed his mom 800 times 700 is 560,000. And the reason is we know 8 times 7 is 56. And then 2 zeros and 2 zeros, he adds 4 zeros. Okay. He is correct. But his mom said your strategy will not always work. And here is the reason why. What if I said, going back to the problem that we had before, if I did this where I had, it was 20. Okay, or this 40 times 5. So we're going to do 40 times 5. So here is an example of why 40 times 5, you can't just say, well, I can just see that there's only 1 0 here, and 4 times 5 is 20, and there's 1 0, there we go. That is what he is basically saying up here, okay? Because he knows that 4 times 5 is 20. He wrote 20, and he counts up, there's only 1 0, there's only 1 0. This is why his strategy does not always work, because what is 4 times 5? Well, 4 times 5 is 20. How many zeros do you need to add? I need to add 1. So the answer is 200, not 20. So anytime that a number, whenever you're multiplying like these numbers right here, if they end in a 0, you cannot count it in this count right here as that 1 0. Okay, we're going to do number 5. It says the Canadian side of Niagara Falls has a flow rate of 600,000 gallons per second. And it says how many gallons of water flow over the falls in 1 minute. Now, when I just briefly looked at this, I'm like, oh, that's pretty simple because it would just be times 1. But it's not, because what does it say? It says per second. So I need to convert this 1 minute into seconds. If I know that 1 minute equals how many seconds, guys? Hopefully you guys are kind of saying this in your head. It is 60 seconds. So I actually want to multiply this number times 60. Okay, now I could do what Ripley does and kind of look at it this way, or I can separate it out like I did on the other problems. Either way that you want to solve it is just fine. I'm going to do it where I'm going to kind of separate it out, that I'm going to do 6 times 100,000, and I'm going to multiply it by 6 times 10. Okay, so now I can go ahead and move some of these numbers around, 6 times 6, and then I can put my powers of 10 in a separate problem. Okay, so 6 times 6 is 36, times 100,000 times 10 is actually going to be 1,000,000. Okay, so if I were to multiply this, I basically have 36 million, and I would write it as 36 million. And that is how many gallons flow on the Canadian side of the Niagara Fall. Now, what you could do is you could do what Ripley did up here, and 6 times 6 is going to be 36, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros, group it by 3, and it's 36 million. Okay. Let's go ahead and go down here. It says tickets to a baseball game are $20 for an adult and $15 for a student. It says a school buys tickets for 45 adults and 600 students. How much money will the school spend for tickets? So I have to figure out how much they spend for adults, how much they spend for students, and then I need to do them all together. okay, which we'll add over here. So let's go ahead and look at the adults. So the adults is $20 a ticket, and we had 45 adults. Okay, we had $15 for a student, and we had 600 students. This one would be a very good example of not doing what Ripley had said, because when I do 45 times 2, that is going to give me a number that's going to have that 0 at the end, and I can't just say, well, I just need 1 0 and I'm done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do 2 times 45, and then I know I'm multiplying it just by 10. So I'm going to come down here to 45 times 2. Okay, so that's going to be 90 times 10. So here's the example. If you said 45 times 2 is 90, but it had 1 0, I've got 1 0, I'm good. You're not, because it's 90 times 10. So the adult tickets is going to be $900. Okay, student tickets, I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to skip some of these steps, and I'm going to do 15 times 6. So I've got 15 times 6, and I know I'm multiplying it by 100. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, 15 times 6, 3, 90. Oh, there's another one, guys. You can't just have that 90 and say, okay, well, I'm just going to add 2 zeros, and I would just need to add 1 more. So this is 90 hundreds, or 9,000. Okay, so we've got $9,000 plus $900. So 9,000 plus $900. Oh my goodness, the school is spending $9,900 on tickets.